First off, could you describe yourself to our unseen film audience?
Describe myself?
Or say who you are, or they don't know you yet.
Really? Well, you're looking at it. What do you think I am?
You, I could come up with a lot of words, but to me, you're a mystery.
Enigma.
Enigma. I don't know. I cannot follow your mind where it goes, so...
Can you follow yours?
Sometimes.
Do you think you are a mystery, an enigma to yourself?
At times I am, yes.
Everyone who is going to watch me is going to understand that they too are an enigma. So how should we all answer such a profound, enigmatic question?
Mysterious.
What is mysterious to you?
Mysterious. I guess it comes from the word mist.
And where does that come from?
The mist comes from not being able to see reality clearly because there's something in between you and that.
I thought it was vapor.
It is in a physical sense.
What is it that you're not looking at? There is no mist here.
I'm not looking at the spirit, the essence.
Have you ever seen your own?
No.
Do you know anyone that has ever seen their own?
I think you have.
Yes, but I'm in a better viewing area.
And how do we get to that better viewing area?
First, define what the word spirit means. Everyone uses it like loose change falling off of their tongue. But what does it buy?
Spirit. In my mind, I think of it as the non-physical, the things that we cannot perceive with our senses.
Do you think in terms of non-physical?
Times, yes.
How about all times? If I were to remove you out of your body, but you didn't know it, and you continued to think as the entity you are, would anyone be able to see you other than me?
Other people might, but I know you would. I don't know who else would.
But you see, the question is, what is spirit? And your answer is that it is intangible. But intangibility also equates an enigma. It also equates illusion. It means illusionary. And what everyone here thinks is real is how a beautiful thought in your mind suddenly manifests itself along the meadows of your face as a delight. So they see your body as real. And they never think about the thought and how isolated it is without a body to express it. Now, the mind, is it real? You have one, don't you?
Yes.
Ah, is it intangible?
Yes.
Yes. Is nobility a word in which an entity thinks in terms of noble, righteous, the righteous action, the righteous thought? Is righteousness and nobility intangible as well?
It's intangible in the physical sense, but it has real effects in the world. So
through the body, which is real. Yes? Is love intangible?
By that definition, yes.
Is hate intangible?
Yes.
Is goodness intangible?
Yes.
How about God?
At times the most intangible.
So, the qualities that define an entity, such as yourself, is not your beautiful body or your beautiful face. It's the intangible that defines you as who you are. And because they are merely concepts of thought, they have no fertileness. We cannot see them, as it were, unless we enact them through a modus operandi that we call our human body. But if we took all of you and all of those thoughts that are intangible away from the reality of your body, would we still have you?
No.
Beautiful. Now, if that is so, and we have reasoned it here, if that is so, then what becomes real? Is it our body? Is it our cumulative genetics? Is it how we look? Is it how we walk? Is it how much we weigh or don't weigh? Is it because we're a man over a woman, or a woman over a man, or a mixture of both? Is that who we are? Then why, my beautiful entity, should we define the substance of self as an enigma, unsubstantial, intangible, when it is the very thrust of what we are? I dare say we rather have the scheme of things of self reversed. But what is truly real is the composite of what we are, our thoughts, surface thoughts, subterranean thoughts, vast chasms of memory, and a vast indifference of feeling, the yet unthought. I dare say that is more of what we are, you and I, and all in this august body, and everyone in the world, seen and unseen. So, is everyone a mystery? Is everyone an enigma? They most certainly are, because the things of true virtue we cannot find on the body as openly as we have blue eyes and dark hair and moles or birthmarks or height. True elements of character are hidden behind the scheme of these adoring qualities. So what am I? I am reality, borrowing a body just like you are borrowing yours. Did you understand?
Yes, I did.
So how can you continue to see the world as real if the self that is determining it to be real is intangible? So do people who live by their emotions ever really think, or are they simply reactive creators?
Most of the time, reactive creators.
That's absolutely right. Now, what is illogical about that? And what is superstitious about that? Well, that's just pure reason now, ain't it? Well, then what is so beautiful is no one ever taught people this. And they never taught them that in understanding that intangible as creating reality. And the only reality they know is how they feel. So how can anyone really say they're in love with a specific person, for example? They're only in love with the anticipation of the emotions they're addicted to. Because the same person could fall out of favor the next week by not complying. My goodness, doesn't that change the landscape of our emotional outlook on personal needs and identities? How so?
Well, then the rest, everything out there is just to basically arrange to give you your rush, your hit, your emotional.
Would you want to be in love with someone, my beloved entity, that only saw you as a means to an end?
No.
Would you want to tell somebody you love them when in reality all they are is a means to an end? So how can we ever say that how we feel determines the gravity of our commitment in terms of that genuine noble character? Maybe the gravity of the commitment is based upon the constitution of sharing those same feelings. And maybe that's where it ends. Right?
Right.
So what does the Christian Bible tell you about this?
The Christian Bible has a list of shoulds and shouldn'ts.
That were all broken by Jehovah and Abraham. But go ahead.
And they give you your list of shoulds and shouldn'ts, and that's the good book. That's the law.
So what are they talking about? Are they talking about emotions? That's exactly what they're all talking about. Aren't they? Do you know the Ten Commandments?
I know most of them. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, we're gonna get
Who's thou?
thou. Well, that was the way they wrote it in the good book.
Well, which good book?
The Old Testament.
Really? I thought the Old Testament was a configuration of King James. Continue with your
With my 10?
your 5 commandments.
5 commandments. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, or have adultery with the neighbor's wife, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's property, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt love thy God with all thy heart, all thy mind, and all thy spirit.
Now, which of these are emotional and which are not?
Well, they're all pretty much designed to keep the emotions in check.
Brilliant.
Keep a lid on the furnace, as it were.
Think it ever worked? Thank God we have reincarnation to back us up. Think it ever worked? You think it works today?
Makes people miserable.
And you know why? The reason that today is such a beautiful day and your epic is that everyone's breaking all those laws. You know why they are? Because they had to experience all of them in order to be wise about any of them. You can't cure an addict until you give an addict everything they want and then they ask for no more. That is when we have owned an experience, and that is when we are wise. Couple that with indeed new revenues to the mind, and revenues to the mind is knowledge. And from knowledge It's like building blocks. We build new holograms and we create a new storm. And in that new storm, we create realities in which unknown feelings, indeed unknown emotions, shall exist. How in the Ten Commandments could we have possibly created a mind that could transcend space and time? No, we're too busy keeping our emotions in check to ever dream of infinite possibilities. And maybe that is the ultimate conspiracy. So what is the difference between you and me in your first question? You asked me, what am I? What do you think I am now?
Unlimited.
Did I have any judgment on any one thing that we discussed? Do you think that I have any one judgment on anyone who has so gathered here? To know their life. Now, what is the difference between you and I?
I have judgments on everyone and everything.
Yes, that's true. So does everyone else. Now, the great question is, why do you judge anyone? What is the basis for that emotional superiority?
Desire to feel superior.
You got it.
Better than.
The only way mediocrity can feel close to originality is to suppress other mediocrity. It's never a climb out of mediocrity. It's simply a con game of abuse. So if you knew what I knew, would you judge anyone in this room? Are you sure? You know why you wouldn't? Because you would know what they are yet to know. You would already be at a place that in superficiality, that you judge people so as to feel superior. You would already be superior. And being superior has no definition of human terms. In fact, the more you know, the greater the love one has, because the greater one understands everyone. And if I, in my most humble abode, in my most humble, bleached blonde from Tacoma, Washington, broad, can know this about people, then why would you ever judge my appearance versus my great mind? For in my great mind, I love everyone. And think all people, you may be the head of this film, but all these people working for you are just as divine as you are in my mind. And because of that rank and file now having equality, they are now divine in my mind. And that's because I know things you do not know. Those things I know, pure reason, pure observation, and a desire to know greater than my ignorant addictions of predictability. The only way that I will ever be great to myself is not what I do to my body, but what I do to my mind. We should love science, it's closer to the true meaning of God than any religion it ever was. Well, you're looking at it. What do you think I am?
You, I could come up with a lot of words, but to me, you're a mystery.
Enigma.
Enigma. I don't know. I cannot follow your mind where it goes, so...
Can you follow yours?
First off, could you describe yourself to our unseen film audience?
Describe myself?
Or say who you are, or they don't know you yet.
Really? It is to you.
Mysterious. I guess it comes from the word mist.
And where does that come from?
The mist comes from not being able to see reality clearly because there's something in between you and that.
I thought it was vapor.
It is in a physical sense.
What is it that you're not looking at? There is no mist here.
I'm not looking at the spirit, the essence.
Have you ever seen your own?
No.
Do you know anyone that has ever seen their own?
I think you have.
Yes, but I'm in a better viewing area.
And how do we get to that better viewing area?
First, define what the word spirit means.
Sometimes.
Do you think you are a mystery, an enigma to yourself?
At times I am, yes.
Everyone who is going to watch me is going to understand that they too are an enigma. So how should we all answer such a profound, enigmatic question?
Mysteriously.
What does mysterious